What's the vibe, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Running Off the Screen. I'm the man they call Mac, and today I'm joined by first ballot Hall of Famer for the Running Off the Screen Guest Hall of Fame and host of the Live by the Three podcast, available everywhere you listen to your podcast, Curly. And joining him, making his Running Off the Screen debut, a journalistic phenom and writer.
Ooh, I like it.
For the Raptors Republic, Nigel Nicholas. Welcome to the show.
Wow. Too generous, my friend. And thank you very much for hosting me. I'm really, really excited to be here today. Especially my boy Curly on the sidelines, me up front. You know what I'm saying, buddy? Just the two
of us. This episode will be a fun one. We can start it off with some topics about the Raptors and finish it up with some All-Star Weekend talk, with the main event being the Team Curly versus Team Nigel All-Star Draft. Now, the Raptors have had a lot of tough decisions coming up for them heading into the offseason, and it feels as though we are a couple of current rotational pieces away from changing up how this team looks. But for me, I'm not sure which two would be on their way out. So I wanted to ask you guys, if you could only keep two of the following players going forward, who would you select and why? And those names are Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., Jakob Poeltl, or OG Anunoby. And I'll start with Curly.
First and foremost, I did not have much fun with this topic. I just want to get that out of the way.
You put us right in the deep end, right off the get-go.
Right off. Like, there's no shallow end. You know, it's 20 feet deep. But, you know, it is a conversation that needs to be had. So I also enjoyed the challenge of going through this question. And, you know, this is something that the front office, like you said, Mac, they're going to have to deal with. And they are buying time. But the time is quickly approaching where they're going to have to make these tough decisions. But if I look at the way this team is currently constructed, and how this team needs to function going forward. And every single player that you mentioned brings some individual importance. There's no disputing that. And I don't think there's a right or wrong answer to this, but I think we need to have an approach to how this team is going to look in the future. And that's why I'm going with Fred VanVleet and Jakob Poeltl. While the sample size has been small, we've seen the effect of what Jakob can do for this half-court offense. That alone is important. The team has been stagnant. The versatility, the switchability has got to its point. And now we had to introduce another element, a missing element, one of two. And we addressed one of them by getting a legit big man, somebody that's great in the screen and roll, that has the ability to protect the rim and be an anchor for us. And I think we've been missing that. And Fred VanVleet, we've seen what he can do when the ball is in his hand. Now we've also got a quick view of what he can do with the ball not in his hand. And I feel that to prevent this team to be stagnant on and continue to push forward and in the half court, we need to have those two guys there to kind of give us that option. And losing Fred VanVleet is going to kill us. We don't have a recourse for that. We haven't been developing a point guard. The free agency, I took a quick look. Unless you want to overpay D'Angelo Russell or bring in a 32, 33-year-old Reggie Jackson, the options are very, very limited. And not to say that Gary Trent Jr. and OG Anunoby are replaceable, but there are options available where you can kind of find, and you referenced this many times, Mac, find those connector pieces. There's a Bruce Brown that has a player option. He's been playing well. He might exercise free agency just as an option if the Raptors do go this route. But I think for this team going forward, and for Scotty Barnes and Pascal to continue their elevation and to superstardom, having anchors at the point of attack and having that rim protection with Fred VanVleet and Jakob Poeltl will set this team up for success in the very near future.
Oh, excellent breakdown. And Nigel, how are you feeling about that?
Well, do I have anything to say after that? Thanks, Curly. Appreciate that very much, bro, okay? For taking all my fire away from me. But let me see what I got left, okay? So let's start with Jakob. Like, we've seen what he can do. We've seen, as Curly said, how important having a big man in the center, controlling, and he's special in the fact that the way he moves, he has complete control of the whole court. He sees it all. He's got that old man skill of getting to the spot before everyone else gets to it, or even knows it's going to be there. He's just in the right, and that footwork, where did that come from? He wasn't like this when I first saw him, and he's finishing really nicely too. Thank God for Pops. Pops has done a great job with that guy. He has really, really taken what was there and just made it so much better. So yeah, I'm not losing him. I don't even know. There's maybe 5 or 6 guys I'd ever want to play that spot first. And we're lucky to get Jakob, you know? So Jakob is for sure. My negative guy I'd have to take away, to me, is easy one for me is Gary. Just because he's on, okay, let's start with his on-off. It's the only negative. He's the only one in negative numbers for the 5 starters. I think he's like minus 2.6. Everyone else is plus. And he's not even a great shooter. Like, he's like, okay, from the corners, he's like 31%. From the wing and right up top, he's like 38%, I believe. So he shoots like 37%. In the mid, he's like 48. So his effective field goal is below average. So we're playing for a shooter, paying $25 million for a shooter who can't shoot. That's the problem. And he can't assist. He has to be, doesn't do rebounds. He doesn't bring anything else. And he's not a great defender. He's a good enough defender. Don't get me wrong. But for a 3-and-D guy, that's how he's kind of looking at himself these days. The D's not there, you know? So I think for $25 million, I think we can do a little bit better. Or at least get a couple of pieces that can kind of fill that role without missing too much, put them off the bench. The real hard part for me comes down to who between Freddie and OG. And again, if you look at the numbers, they're very, very similar, both +3 on the on-offs. The difference is his numbers are coming from the offensive side, and he's, for the first time, I think maybe there's one other year he's a negative on defense. But he's a plus on offense this year. And OG on the other side, and he's a negative on offense, and he's getting all from his defensive side. So you kind of need them both, you know what I mean? You need both of that. So this is the real hard part about it. But I think for me, what unfortunately tips the angle is that leadership that Freddie brings to the table. He has, if we lose him, like I think Blake Murphy was saying the other day, if it wasn't for him, that the locker room would have imploded. And that's the kind of thing we're not going to be able to bring in for any price. So he's asking for a lot. Yeah. Do I think the individual parts of him are worth it? Maybe not, but together that package is definitely worth it. So again, Curly, you're right. I'm going with you, Poeltl and Freddie. This guy's always right. He's always right.
No, that's not true. That's true.
Man, that's a tough situation, right? But like you guys said, Jakob seems to be the lock for so many reasons. The price we paid for him, for one, we can't let that go. And his impact on the court so far, you know, I think we've had about 17 or 18 different lineup combinations with him in there. And I think it's +18 plus 17 points. It's like around that range.
Yeah.
I know it's just a 3-game sample size, but you could already see his percentages at the rim have shot up compared to his time in San Antonio with us. And I think that it caused a trend going forward for our team with more flow and more balance for us on offense. And again, we already seen the impact he's made for us on defense. So I get Jakob as the lock, as someone you want going forward. I kind of pivoted in a different direction. I don't really have any notes on it because I thought you guys were gonna help me with that. I thought you guys were gonna go the same way as me, and I was gonna bounce on you. but I went with OG Anunoby.
Yeah, it's a toss up, right? It is a toss up in there.
Yeah, and before I go into it, like again, this question was to kind of not single people out, but more so see how much we value certain players more than the others. In a perfect world, everyone comes back. But in business, that's not how things go. And with OG Anunoby, I'm looking at the business side. If he wants to come back and he wants a bigger role, if you get rid of a Gary, if you get rid of a Fred, that kind of creates that opening for him to really prove his worth. His defensive versatility is something that I don't see easily replaceable. I know we always talk defense, and this team is horrible at it. But if we add more bookends around him, we haven't seen him with this version of Jakob as yet. We can see it, how really impactful it could be with him and Jakob out there. I think it's really going to open up our team more. And let's get Scotty at that guard spot a little bit more on offense. On defense, I like him guarding up, but I like him initiating the offense for us. So getting a Fred or a Gary again out the way would open that up for Scotty. So getting rid of our guards in my selections is only just to open up opportunities for guys who are already here. And I'm really big on the draft, and I love this prospect named Cason Wallace out of Kentucky. I think you guys should look him up. He is Raptors through and through, defensive point guard, really good shot blocker for his position, very poised. I think he's gonna fall into our range if we don't make the playoffs, or if we're like, if we do make the playoffs and we're a lower seed, he could fall to us in that range. He's someone who a lot of people compare to Drew Holiday, and I think he can kind of fill our backcourt needs. Something that we have to develop on, obviously, but I look at him as a replacement and why I would make it an easier choice to get rid of Fred.
And in the short term, what would you do? Because obviously he's not going to start.
I would.
Who would you POA?
It's tough because it's kind of in shambles after that. But you have OG there, you have Scotty starting. You're probably gonna have to start Precious or something. Like you have bodies out there that can help you defensively. It might not be the point of attack that we're looking for, but again, like I said with Cason Wallace, he is someone who is an elite college defender. Now it doesn't always translate, but I think that's something I would bank on. We don't really have any guard prospects coming up, and Fred is turning 29 soon. That's not old in real life, but he is somebody who's been bruised and battered, and he needs some guard help or someone to replace him totally. And I look at that as an option, and a cheaper option at that.
So, I got a quick question for you guys.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
What, the way they've done this, taking on Poeltl's contract with these other two contracts around, do you think there's a chance that they're willing to go over the cap?
Yes.
I think so, but I guess the greater question to that is this a team worth going over the cap over?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
That's exactly where we're going.
I mean, they could lean into the thought process of like, okay, we go over the cap, we pay some luxury tax for a few months and see how things shake out, then move players during the season. Maybe that's what they want to do, so they don't outright lose players. Or they could just take the sign and trade route in the off season, sign them, get them that extra year under deal, and get them out of there to a situation that they feel is better for them, and we can pull in some prospects at that.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. Sorry, Nigel. I just want to push back a little bit on losing somebody like Fred. If you're losing Fred and Gary, we have no shooting. This is something that we've struggled with. OG is a great shooter, but he is not a great creator of those shots, right? And having one less ball handler to create those opportunities, like I think that's what gives the Raptors an advantage, because you have Pascal, because you have Scotty, and because you have Fred. All those guys can take ball handling responsibilities and help create opportunities not only for themselves but for the people around them. And you can also afford to stagger some of them as well with second unit guys and help create those opportunities for them as well. My issue with hanging on to OG over Fred and it's my singular issue. OG, Pascal, and Scotty play similar. And we've seen the limitations that come along with that. They like to get into the paint. They like to be physical and generate those opportunities there. While Pascal has elevated himself to a point of superstardom, Scotty tends to be trending in that direction. OG is kind of like, he could be that, but he can also remain much of the same. So I feel that by losing somebody like Fred with no real replacement and then hoping that, the draft pick hits, while I do agree with that pick or that prospect would be a solid Raptors pick, we've also seen the Raptors maintain a position of drafting projects, not having... Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, with the draft pick, that's just one piece, right? When you're getting rid of Fred, I'm not saying lose him outright. We need to sign and trade him for sure.
Yeah, no, I
so
agree.
You're bringing some type of guard back. You're bringing some type of shooting back. That's the plan, right?
Right. But I think we're complicating things further. Like, things are already complicated, and having that stability of a Fred. Because think about it. Let's say we lose Fred and we get a guard that is not really a knockdown shooter from the outside. He can hit from the mid-range, he can get to the rim, but he doesn't provide that bailout that the Raptors have been so reliant on, and Freddie has been the lightning bolt of being a ball hog and playing that hero ball. Like, people tend to not understand or appreciate what was the reason behind that shot, because normally when those shots go up, the Raptors are against the shot clock. All the other actions have not worked out, and Fred is forced to take those kind of shots, and sometimes he hits them, sometimes he misses them. If you lose that with a guard that can't shoot from that range and offer that spacing, it's just going to further complicate things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I think to go back to that as well, Mac, I think we're talking about redundancies. There's no real replacement for Fred on this team, whereas there's much more. We can put a Precious in there for an OG, right? He's a working replacement. You don't have that working replacement what we have right now on the team. Malachi's there, right? And then, that's the funny part too, is like, we don't know what Malachi is, right? Because we never see him play, unfortunately, thanks to Nick Nurse, which is a whole another. Well, that's the next time we get together. But we just don't know what Malachi could be. So, are we willing to put all of that? I think there's more risk in your proposition, and Curly and I are right. You're wrong. Okay,
that's what it sums up as. Moral.
I think for this team to ascend to another level, we have to stray away from, like Nigel said, the redundant type of play or the consistent type of players that we have. We have players that are bruisers in the paint, that are in the mid-range but can't space out the floor, and it really makes us a very easy team to guard. You clog the paint, you force us onto the perimeter, and some nights we are hot and sometimes we are not. There's no in between. It's either we're on or we're off from three, and clearly the way that this league has been moving, it's an offensive minded league. It's a 3-point league, and that shot has been so important to many teams, and especially these teams that are contending. So I feel that while the Raptors have maintained a position to be innovators, they might have to pivot a little bit and kind of follow what other teams have been making a priority, and that's been leading more on the offensive end.
So you think we can't find...
Quick question. Sorry, Max.
Sorry.
I just want to ask you a quick question here. With Fred, trading him, we saw what his value was like with the current contract he's under, with like one draft pick or something like that, right? The first round. Do you think that if we have him under a 4-year contract or whatever price he's coming at, do you think that will increase his value on the trade market?
I think when teams have more control, they don't want to get an expiring deal if they're giving up prospects for sure. I think that would increase his value a bit. That's why I was leaning towards that. I look at Orlando that has a plethora of guards that they might just need to have that one solidified guy And there's plenty of other teams out there that maybe are first round exits in the playoffs and feel that leadership that he brings, toughness and shooting, will help them and want to pay up for it. My worry with Fred is the minutes, right? And if we're paying him like 25 plus a year, then we have to re-sign Jakob for 20 a year, over 20 a year. Like where are you gonna be able to allocate money to fix your bench and alleviate the stresses of our lack of depth? Like how are we gonna balance out our roster contractually?
Luxury cap. We're going there, buddy.
So you would go into the luxury with the.
We got no choice. I think they're setting us up for the luxury cap. I think that's the whole thing, right? So the luxury cap and bust. That's in my opinion.
Damn.
We either prove a point to them that this is going forward is where they want to be, and maybe make some changes, or we have to go there or pick it apart.
This was avoidable. Let's be real. This was really avoidable had they take a more proactive approach. This whole 100%. Wait and see, and really seeing this vision, knowing that this vision had limitations, and knowing that you did not address any of these limitations, and then expecting a contending team was just a really unfair approach. And one thing I want to mention, this idea of the wear and tear on Fred. Well, it's not an idea. This is fact. But why was it wear and tear? And I think that's where they kind of failed this team, not only by getting a big, but leaning on your best player to do everything, to play multiple roles, to do a lot of the heavy lifting, especially when Pascal was out last season. And ultimately, it made him become an all-star, but it came with a price. And when we needed him most in the playoffs, he got hurt, and the rest is history. So I really feel that to use the wear and tear and the injuries as a talking point to limit his value in terms of free agency, I think is very unfair. Not saying that you guys did, but the argument behind paying Fred too much. Well, what is too much? I mean, if you look across the league, there's a lot of players that are getting paid that may not be worth that money. I'm not here to question anyone's worth. It's about what that player is worth to you. So if Tobias Harris is worth $33 million or whatever the hell he's making to the Sixers, clearly they value him and they appreciate him enough. And I feel that the way that, the reluctance and the first go around to pay Fred, they gave him a low ball contract and he was almost ready to leave. I think that probably plays a role as to why Fred is looking to get paid. They're like, okay, you guys doubted me before. I had to threaten to leave to get paid. Now it's time for you to pay me. Are you going to pay me? So I think that the innovation of this front office, you're going to see it this offseason. We're going to see we're going to see what these guys are worth. They've been regarded as a great front office. I don't think that we're questioning that. They are a great front office, but now it's time for them to put their money where their mouth is and see what they can do. Because if going into the luxury tax is the solution, then I think you need to do it, because we've seen that in order for you to get a championship, you're going to have to pay your players.
I think, one other thing I just like that, does it make sense to play the style we're playing defensively? Like, it's great for the playoffs to play this high pressure defense. You can't play 82 games of it. You just cannot play it.
You can if you have the depth. You can if you have the depth.
I'd rather not play that and play that in the playoffs, so I'm nice and healthy. And that's what the ultimate goal should be, to go into the playoffs healthy and ready to win, not tire ourselves all the way to the end line and just fall over just before the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I also want to add that if we, let's be real, bench depth has been our problem.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So if you're going to continue to play this way, address the depth. And I know that that's asking for a lot right now, given our current financial situation and given that the buyout market, or maybe the 905 call-ups might be a solution to some of it. Who knows? That's going to be hard to do now. So I think what they need to do is work on with what they have right now. Masai has alluded to it. See what this team can give you. and we're gonna get into it. You know, it's a favorable schedule coming up, so let's see what this team is gonna look like healthy.
Wow, great segue. Look at that, man. I can set you up, buddy.
Yeah, it's
Moving on.
So, speaking on segues, okay, so we talked about playoffs and trying to find some clarity with this roster. Do you believe this team can make the playoffs? And how do you feel, or what record do you think we'll have to end the season after this all-star break? Sorry. And I'll start with Nigel.
Thank you very much for this way, Curly. I'm starting first. I get all the good stuff, okay? Number one, we're 5 games back of the Knicks. So that's a big, well, that's like, for us, I think we've got 23 games. They've got 22 games. That's a big differential at this point. For us to get to where they are, so we've got the tiebreaker in hand. Say they go 5, they're a 550 team right now. We're both playing pretty similar strengths of schedule, like between 522 and 510. So I think, let's say they'll get to maybe 45, 47 wins, let's say, right? So we've got to get 17 wins. We need to get 17 wins and go 17 and 16 to get that. And don't forget, in between us is Miami and there's Atlanta, right? So I'm not even counting the Wizards because whatever, okay? But
sorry, Nigel. You mean 17 and 6, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 17. We got to go 17 and 6.
Yeah.
Right, to have a chance, right? And that doesn't count one of 3 teams getting really hot. So for me, I don't see a chance. I really like, and this is a team. Don't forget that our best streak so far is 3 games. Random got Poeltl, but it's 3 games streak. You know what I mean? Now we got to go 17 and 6. I just don't see it. I don't.
And Curly?
Well, I think best case scenario, the Raptors go 17 and 6 because they play the Nuggets twice, they play the Bucks twice, they play the Celtics twice. Then I believe they play the Sixers. They're not as threatening as much as they were in the early part of the season, so I definitely feel that healthy, the Raptors can hang with them. They also play Miami. They're up and down, so I'm not going to say that they're a clear winner. So the Raptors do have a chance to steal one there. They play the Hornets twice, the Wizards twice, the Pistons a couple more times. So as you look at the schedule, it tends to favor the Raptors. And I think best case scenario, they go 17 and 6. Worst case scenario, I see them going 15 and 8.
Worst case?
Worst case. I think they go 15 and 8.
Well, you heard that one, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I see them. They, as great as the Celtics are, I think the Raptors can win one. They could steal one.
I think let's talk about that.
Right,
I'm ready to do that.
The Bucks. There's the Giannis injury. We've also seen them play well without Giannis as well. So they're not going to be an easy out, but I see the Raptors splitting one. I see the Raptors maybe even stealing one against the Nuggets. I think that one is, I don't say that with a full vote of confidence, but as you look at the schedule and you look at the teams in front, Washington is not a better team than the Raptors, healthy. Neither is Atlanta. I think Atlanta has been a very unpleasant surprise. I really thought that they were going to do better, but clearly their record is reflective of that. Miami's in front of them. Like I said, they're not playing dominant basketball, but they're also one of the teams that they just need to get in. And, the rest is history. But then I look at the 2 New York teams, Brooklyn and the New York Knicks. Are they steps ahead of the Raptors? They're playing well, but they've also have had certain advantages. And we've had, some things not working in our favor, and also some of that was self-inflicted. But I think as the schedule goes off for the rest of the season, if this team is healthy, I think they can go on a serious run. Can they get into a playoff seeding? I don't know about that. It's going to be tough. Maybe they have to do that 17 and 6. But can I see them holding down the 7th spot, perhaps? Yeah, I can see that as a possibility.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I I had them going 14-9 to end the year.
I think that's good numbers.
I think I was browsing up and down through the schedule. Obviously, there's nothing's guaranteed, but it just felt comfortable there. So that would put us at 42-40 on the year, and most likely in a play-in spot. I think we're gonna end up being the 8th seed when it's all said and done. Yeah, I think we're gonna land in the 8th seed when it's all said and done. I'm really interested to see what the acquisition of Poeltl will do against those matchups against those juggernauts like the Denvers and the Bostons. I want to really see how that would change things.
Even Milwaukee and Philly, right? You know, because Brook Lopez, you know, found the fountain of youth again. He looks brand new.
Yeah, that last game he went off.
Really good.
Yeah, and well, if I'm the Raptors, you don't have much control of this. You gotta avoid Boston or Milwaukee first round. I don't know how you're gonna control it, but I don't see the point of making the playoffs if that's who we're gonna face. I don't like our chances with either team.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Sorry, Nigel. I think that's a very fair point. But you know, we've also seen stranger things happen in the playoffs as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, but a lot of things have to go right for the Raptors to get into the playoffs, and I think, you know, like you said, Mac, nothing is guaranteed, but they are playing inferior teams in comparison to this team. It hasn't meant much this season for the Raptors. I think the Raptors have definitely played below expectations. So for me to say that confidently, I'm not saying that with great confidence. But when you look at the team and you look at what they could be in comparison to the teams in front of them, I think they have the most potential to make a bigger push than some of the teams. But I also see 14-9 as a real possibility. Like I said, I don't think they get the 6th seed. A lot of things have to go right for that to happen. But I do see 7 and 8 being a realistic spot for them. But you have to deal with Boston and Milwaukee for your troubles, right? For all that hard work, for the acquisition at the deadline, and that's what you get.
I don't think Boston is okay. So let's look at Boston, right? And let's break down compared to us. They have got more depth, no doubt about that, at every position that we do. You've got the Time Lord there. You've got Marcus Smart. You've got obviously the big two over there as well. So
and Malcolm Brogdon. Let's not
Derek White.
No, depth is there. Yeah, they have depth, right? But it's a 7-game series, and we're bigger, right? Curly, and I'm not. I think if everything goes right, we have a chance to beat Boston. I don't think we have a chance against Milwaukee, but I think we have a chance against Boston. That's if everything goes right. Because I don't see, we're not really missing out that badly in a lot of these matchups. Like Tatum is obviously, he's better than Siakam, but how much better than Siakam, right? Jaylen Brown, okay, so he's a factor, right? Like we don't have a Jaylen Brown. We don't have that second quality guy, right? It depends on Freddie, right? Freddie has those moments where he doesn't look like he's a quality. He's an all-star. That guy was an all-star last year, and he can show up out of nowhere. But our guy, I'm getting more and more encouraged by is Scotty, because there's something about. I'm looking at his numbers. I was trying to do an article about him. I'm looking at his numbers. They don't jump out at you, but he just affects winning. His on-offs are just right behind Pascal's at 16 and 13. You know, when he turns it on big. And I don't think they have that it guy. He's an it guy. He's that guy who can, you know what, at the end of the game, if he decides he wants to do it,
he does it.
He can do it. You know what I mean?
Curly?
I'm on the opposite end of Nigel. I think
I hate you, buddy. I hate you.
I see it in your eyes. That's why I prompted you to say something.
You know, Boston to me is a much more tougher matchup because they're a step ahead from their experience last season.
Yeah.
While we do have the players that can compete, don't get me wrong, I think Boston is a tougher matchup. The team that doesn't scare me is Milwaukee.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not scared of Milwaukee.
Wow.
You have the Giannis factor.
Yeah.
I think
Lopez is playing amazing. Drew's outstanding.
Yeah,
right?
Drew. Yeah, I think
Middleton, if he's back, that's a pretty good four, you know.
I don't get me wrong, but I think Middleton is kind of like in that Klay Thompson position from last year, trying to work his way back into the lineup. But they too have gotten great production coming off their bench, but I don't see them as invincible. Like Giannis is not a perimeter threat, so you kind of know what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And with the comparison to Tatum is going to beat you anywhere off the floor.
I don't know if that's true though. You know what? You look at his shot chart. It's like it's either threes or in the paint. Threes or in the paint, right? That's where he makes his living, right?
But Tatum, can space the floor. Where Giannis, if he's hot.
If you use the
dependent,
right?
It really depends. But I think Milwaukee is a much more favorable a matchup, at least in my opinion. Boston, like I said, they're ahead of the Raptors in terms of cohesiveness. They've had that deep finals run. They've made a great acquisition in Malcolm Brogdon. He looks healthy. I think that was probably one of the more underrated moves this season. And it's paying them dividends now, and maybe this is the time to strike. We don't know what's going to happen to Giannis with the wrist injury now, that weird freak injury. So they're a little bit more vulnerable, I think. Mac, what's your takeaway from that?
I think the argument there is because Boston, as soon as we start putting our bench units in, they're gonna run away with because it's not close. I think with the Milwaukee thing, I don't think they have the firepower off the bench as a Boston. So I could see why you're a little bit more comfortable in that matchup for the fact that you have to face Giannis, and that's probably and Brooke and Drew. But once the bench comes in, you kind of relax a little bit.
Plus, we have the 0-4 dangling over their head from the 2019.
Oh yes, yeah.
If you ever looked at Milwaukee, if you ever looked at Milwaukee's Twitter, man, they are still upset about that.
No, but even before that, remember, even before the Kawhi thing, DeMar was giving them work, and Norm was giving them work in the playoffs.
Norm was giving them the business. Yeah, you're right.
So going back to the Boston thing, okay, we only need to play 8-man deep, right? In the playoffs, right? You're not going to go deep. I think our 8 is pretty good, right? If you got Precious off the bench, you got CB off the bench, and Gary off the bench. That's a pretty good bench for the playoffs, right? Added to our starters. I don't think we're like I said, depth-wise for sure, but that quality 8, I think we're in there.
The problem with that, Nigel, we're one injury away from it just falling apart.
Everyone's one injury away.
Well, I mean,
right? Tatum goes down. That's a whole different thing, right? You know what I mean?
But they have we alluded to. I know. But they have the depth to sustain that, and we've seen Milwaukee even find a way to win without Middleton all season long, right? And I think losing Giannis is a much more harsher loss for that team, right? So that's where I'm at. I don't entirely disagree with you there, but I think Boston, if they lose, say, a Jaylen Brown, for example.
Boys, we're gonna have to be betting on this. This is a bet going down between the three of us. Okay,
we have to.
I'm taking all your money on this. Okay, I get odds, obviously, but I'm taking it all.
I think either way, it's gonna be a tough out for the Raptors, but I think Boston, if they lose a player, they found ways to win. Where I think Milwaukee is a little bit more challenging. But also for us, like we said, and I think we've all said the same thing. A lot of things have to go right. Top 8, we can hang with the best of them. But I also feel because of our lack of depth, we lose one of those top 8 guys,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be an easy out.
I think my answer will change these next couple of weeks when we see how we
very
face
good.
like the better teams, because we've kind of beat up on teams that are not really contenders like that. So let's see how we do against the top teams with full health. Hopefully OG's back after the break, and we'll do another episode and do our bets.
It's fluid, brother. It's fluid, right? It's fluid.
Do we know? Do we know anything about OG at all at this point when he's returning?
No, I haven't heard anything. No,
he's practicing, so that's a good sign.
Oh, he's back, practicing, but no contact, right? That's
more or less not. Yeah.
So maybe after the All-Star break, chance.
I think he's been out long enough. Like I'm not a doctor or anything. I'm not a doctor or anything, but come on, man.
Okay, the takeaway from this, OG, hurry up.
Hurry up.
Yeah, I want to see OG in that lineup.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what this team looks healthy.
Man, and what a fall, right? Like beginning of the year, he was this defensive player of the year candidate, and then it seems like it happens.
You're right.
It happens every year with him. He has this crazy run, a freak injury happens, and then you don't see him again until it doesn't matter anymore. It's annoying.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And
I thought he broke his arm for sure when he fell down like that.
Yeah,
that arm was just it looked so weird.
Yeah,
I was on eBay looking for a replacement arm when I saw that.
Oh man. So it's All-Star weekend. I for one enjoy it every year. Maybe not the dunk contest in recent years, but it's a great way to unwind and decompress from all the stresses of the NBA. And I wanted to get your guys' perspective on who's gonna win the Saturday festivities. I'm taking the skills challenge out of it because I don't like. I'm not.
Thank you. Oh,
yeah.
I don't care about this. You know what I don't like or really don't care for is team Giannis. Like back-to-back years.
That might have to change now unless they put like his other brother in there.
Oh
right,
yeah.
How many are there? They got a whole team out there. Huh? There's like 10 of them.
Just spawn a new one. Yeah.
Yeah. They're like growing in a garden and you just pluck them. But I think this is one of the things where somebody has a very important position and they have to prove their worth or they have to justify their paycheck, and they came up with this particular skill challenge. I think they complicated it. They really did. But going back to Team Giannis, is it really fair for them to go back-to-back years? I would like to see something different change, like maybe have Team Canada, because you can actually build that, or in a Team USA,
a world one.
That's a good one.
You know what I mean? That would be
engaging.
Cool.
Yeah,
right. Something far more engaging, or leave it to the rookie, sophomore, and then do and have the hosting city with their team. They did it with Cleveland. They're doing it with the Jazz this year. Something like that. I think it would be much more enticing. Or go back.
I think the world one is a great idea. Yeah. I think like Canada. Yeah, Canada versus France versus
great one.
Cameroon. You could even have like it would have been nice.
Yeah. I think that would work. Okay, let me just send an email to NBA.
That's the thing. You know what? The NBA is the ultimate marketing machine. What they've done with this sport is unbelievable, and they can't come up with something better than this. Come on, what's wrong with these guys?
I thought the shooting star challenge was awesome. You had a WNBA player, a legend, and then a current NBA player, and you guys just go through a shooting obstacle course with a half-court shot. I think it's much more exciting. It's thrilling, and plus, the NBA has gone out above and beyond about inclusion, and there's always this discrepancy between the NBA and WNBA, and that is a completely different topic. But I feel like the NHL has now included the female hockey players at their All-Star game on a consistent basis. I don't think it's a terrible idea to showcase the WNBA's skill set at the All-Star game.
Yeah, they put a WNBA in the celebrity game, which is It's like you're putting them up with Bad Bunny and like
like it's that's not cool. But I think there's definitely room for improvement. I'm totally okay bypassing this.
Hey boys, you know what? We got to go to that WNBA game though. The three of us. We got to go get some tickets for that. All right.
That'd be nice. I'm in Alberta, but yeah, I would fly.
Oh yeah.
Maybe Raptors.
How do I not know that?
Maybe Raptors Republic can send the private jet, and bring you there a day out.
I'll talk to Zahar.
But who do you guys feel is going to win the 3-point contest? You have Halliburton, Hero, Heald, Herter, Lillard, Markkanen, Randall for whatever reason, and Tatum. Who do you guys got? And I'll start with Curly.
I don't know why Randall's there. He's 33%.
The anger. Look at that face.
I can't hide it, man. I can't hide it. Like when
you cannot.
There are so many better shooters other than Randall. 33% was the bar. Like, come on. Like, even Anthony Edwards has.
If he wins, buddy. If he wins.
I hope. You know what? I hope he does win, so then I can eat my words. But I don't think it's gonna happen. I was thinking Dame, because Dame needs to win something. I think he needs to win something, man. Like, I think this is a good contest for him. But my hesitation with selecting him wholeheartedly is his form. Like, he's a lot of legs, and I feel that it'll tire him out in this competition as well. So my final pick would be Herter. I think Herter.
I picked Herter too.
That's what you come with?
I think Herter, man, that ginger assassin.
Red Velvet.
Oh yeah, Red Velvet. Yes. Red Velvet. Yeah, I love his shooting stroke. I think his form is probably the best equipped for this competition.
Beautiful.
So that's where I'm going.
And Nigel?
So, quick question. Mention Dame is having such a bad year that his highlight is probably Pat Bev going like,
"Oh yes."
Oh.
That's probably the highlight of his year. You know what I mean? That's where we're at with Dame. I can't believe that this happened to my poor guy. I think there's only one, and I'm going Buddy Hield because A, that man can shoot. B, he's already won it. And C, there's got to be a reason for a franchise in Indiana right now. So between those,
it's a Team Canada farming system over there.
So between those, I really think it's. To be honest with you, who knows, right? At the end of the day, who knows about these things? But I'm going to Hield. I think it's a good argument there.
I really like those two options. I think those are the top two. Probably among across the board if you're not putting Lillard out there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I agree. Like I said, their form, their release, it can be quick, and we've seen them all get hot like really, really quick. They get one go down, and then you're probably gonna see like the next 10 go down. Those are two solid
Hield
picks.
On the team? Would you guys take Hield on our Raptors?
Oh, for sure.
In a heartbeat. I will go pick him up at Indiana and drive him here. I don't care.
Oh, for sure.
In a heartbeat.
So who do you guys got in the dunk contest? It's kind of a weird one this year. You got a G Leaguer in there. Now he is, as far as dunk contest goes, he's one of the most worthy in this list. But it's just funny that the NBA had to go pluck a G Leaguer. So Nigel, who do you got in the dunk contest?
Buddy, he's short, he's white, he's gonna win it. So that short guy's gotta win. Right?
The optics,
it looks so much better when he does it. Those tall, long guys, it does not have the same effect. And plus, that's the only reason he's in there is because he's a dunker, right? He's his speciality. He's probably got like triple windmills and whatever else that he's practiced, right? These guys are NBA players who don't practice those kind of things. You know what? It's so weird that the NBA is getting down to this, that they're getting a G Leaguer in here. I would have expected so much more from them on this, but let's see what goes on.
I mean, yeah, you got Trey Murphy, who's someone I could see winning the 3-point contest down the road. Jericho Sims.
Yeah.
Jericho Sims. he can jump, but I don't see creativity in his style. And Kenyon Martin Jr. again, a powerful dunker, but
where's Shaden Sharp? Where is Shaden Sharp in this whole thing?
I don't know. Why did he pull out? Did he say he wanted to focus on the season? The play-in or something?
I guess you know that play-in championship. I don't know. But yeah, I think this was definitely a missed opportunity for Shaden Sharp. I mean, I was super excited once I heard Sharp was involved, and then when he pulled out, I just lost all interest. But you know, for the sake of argument, I'm going to go in a different direction. I think this is a competition where Mac McClung is built to win, and I think because he's the shorter out of the bunch, a lot of his dunks are going to look far more difficult for the rest of them. But I'm going to go with the sleeper pick, a 3-point specialist, and Trey Murphy. I'm going to go that route. I see it. He has the athleticism. He has the hops, and he's been putting it on display lately. Is the creativity there? I don't know, but that's my sleeper pick. I'm going to go with Trey Murphy III.
Mac, we know now we know why he calls his podcast "Live by the Three," because they live by the dunks after that.
Hey, listen, if I can't dunk, I'm not going to be supporting it. Okay?
Isn't it funny that Trey Murphy's name is Trey Murphy III, and he's a 3-point shooter? You know,
that was deliberate. That was deliberate. I don't care.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Huh? Trey Murphy.
Yeah. But I'm going with Mac. I'm Mac, so I have to go with the Mac. And obviously,
you gotta go.
I've seen his dunks on display. You guys probably saw it on YouTube in the past, but I seen him do like his back was turned to the rim and he did a windmill and finished backwards. I seen him do a through the legs and then finish as a reverse off the glass 360 windmills. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna bring something new. I think one dunk I'm gonna predict he's gonna do it under both legs, like Aaron Gordon.
Oh yeah,
I think he's gonna do that.
Like the one that Aaron Gordon did?
Yeah, over the mascot. I don't think he's going to do it over a mascot. Maybe he's going to do it off a lob or in a different way, but I think he's going to end up doing something like that. I've seen him attempt it before, so I think he's going to try and pull it out. And that would be very interesting. Yeah.
He just has bunnies, man. Like, he can just flat out jump. But, you know, the two of you went Mac, so that's why I'm going Trey Murphy. Even though I think...
I do like it.
Even though I do think Mac McClung is going to win, I'm going Trey Murphy.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Man, Aaron Gordon. Oh, sorry? Yeah. Kenyon Martin.
Kenyon Martin. Wow, I'm going to get wow.
If he doesn't bring out his dad and jump over him, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Ooh, I like that. Now we're talking.
Hey, Kenyon Martin Jr., dunk over your dad.
Yeah,
he'll probably block you, but you don't try.
Windmill over his dad. Yeah, that'd be dope.
No, like that.
That'd be dope. Okay, well, we're at the part of the show where we're doing the main event, the All-Star Team Draft. We're gonna use the pool of players that the NBA has given us, and we're gonna add LeBron and Giannis in the mix because you guys are not Giannis or LeBron. so we'll get you guys.
What gave it away? What gave it away?
So I don't know who wants to go first.
Well, you know, I'll let Nigel go first. You know, age before beauty. So the floor is yours.
Hey, come on, boys! Look at me. I'm looking pretty today too. I look good for you guys. Got a haircut. Put on some nice clothes. I smell good. Come on. All right, I'll take it though. I'll take it, pretty boy. Let me go here.
So we're going from the pool of starters.
Go.
Starters first. Sorry.
So starters first.
Yeah.
Then I am going with my guy Giannis Antetokounmpo.
So the first pick is Giannis. Okay, so how you combat that, Curly?
LeBron. Like, okay. I have to get LeBron. You know, the whole spectacle of him being the leading scorer now. NBA is gonna milk it. He's gonna drop like 40 points. Yeah, give me LeBron.
Okay, your second pick.
That's not bad.
Okay, your second pick, Nigel.
Oh, you want me? You don't want to go, Curly? You should be second since I got first.
Oh no, in the reserves, he'll have the first pick in the reserves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, then I'm gonna take Jokic.
Ooh.
It's a perfect combo. It's all about me right now.
And Curly?
Give me Tatum.
Wow. Okay.
What did you take? Cal?
Jason Tatum.
You taking him up there, huh?
Wow.
That's interesting. Yeah, I did not see that coming that early. All right, so I don't know whether to take all the big men off the board. That's nothing. But who do I want now? I got to go with Steph now with those two big men there. I got to go.
Sorry, with who?
Steph.
Steph's hurt.
Oh no, he's hurt.
Yeah,
We're gonna have the replacement. So
sorry, we're gonna do the replacement.
So right now, from your pool of players, you have Donovan Mitchell, Kyrie Irving, Luka, Embiid, Morant, and Markkanen.
So Luka and Jokic together. That's an interesting. I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go team Europe and then take Luka too. Okay.
Yikes!
Damn it!
That's a crazy trio: Giannis, Jokic, and Doncic.
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay, your turn, Curly.
Give me Kyrie. Give me the LeBron and Kyrie connection again.
Ooh, I like it. Yeah. There'll be like 3 more months, and there'll be. It's a good thing it's only one day on Saturday, right? Otherwise, they'll be gone.
Okay, your pick.
Okay. Who's on the? Give me those rundown again on the starters. Sorry, brother.
No worries. No worries. We got Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
Ja Morant and Markkanen.
I'm gonna go just because I need some shooters out here, so I'm gonna go with Markkanen.
Wow. I thought he was gonna be the last pick.
No, just because I need a shooter. You know what I mean? That's what I got so far.
Yeah, you got the balance now. And Curly?
I go deep on this stuff. Okay.
Give me Shy.
Ooh, I know he's not. He's a starter option.
He's not on.
No, he's a reserve.
Oh, sorry. He's a sorry. He's a reserve. My apologies. Let me go. Let me go with Mitchell.
I'll use my next pick.
Got my small backcourt.
Okay, and this is probably going to be the last pick because whoever's left over is going to Curly. So you have Embiid or Morant.
You know what? I kind of want Morant, but I'm just going to mess with Curly and I'm going to take Embiid.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, I hope they got gas in the tank because my team is going to run you guys out of the gym.
Oh my goodness. So that leaves Ja Morant for Curly. So Curly's team is Morant, Donovan Mitchell, Kyrie Irving, Jason Tatum, and LeBron James. Nigel so far has Giannis, Jokic, Doncic, Markkanen, and Embiid.
There's no need for instant replay. There's no need for instant replay.
The Monstars.
We're definitely playing half court.
Wow, Monstars. So first pick of the reserves goes to Curly. I could run down the options if you guys want.
I'm good here. I got him.
Okay, so go ahead whenever you're ready.
Give me Shy.
Okay. So Shea Gilgeous Alexander, first pick of the reserves for Curly. Nigel.
So Kevin Durant, isn't he like a reserve?
Oh no, he got replaced by I think Embiid in the starters.
Okay. I need another shooter out here, boys. And I am gonna go. I gotta go Pascal. Screw it.
Wow.
Pascal, my guy. I'm going big.
First pick of the reserve, Siakam. To Nigel. Curly, your turn.
I wanted Peace Skills. I really did.
I feel like I'm like killing you right now.
Well, you're just taking the guys when I want them.
Team fried chicken over there.
Give me. I need a big. Give me Jaren Jackson Jr.
Wow. Okay.
Buddy, we don't even call him a big. I call him a little. with my team, okay?
He's a shooting guard on his team.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay. So now, if I can do that, do I have, you know what? Because I like a little excitement in my life. I'm going with the Ant-Man himself. It may not even make sense to you guys, but I love this kid.
I love Ant-Man too. He's great player.
This is straight from the heart.
That's a great pick. Curly?
Again, another pick that I wanted.
Yeah, they're always picks you wanted, buddy. I got him.
Give me PG.
Okay, Paul George.
You know what? I did look at that, but you know what? He's a little slow. You know what? You know what I'm going to take now? Just to piss Curly off, Julius Randle.
Wow.
That's
half court sets. That team, your team is very dangerous though. Very physical and dangerous, Nigel.
Buddy, we're going hard.
And your turn, Curly?
Give me. You know what? I'm gonna run you out the gym. Give me De'Aaron Fox.
De'Aaron Fox.
Ooh, that's a good pick. I like that for your team.
Wow, swipe up.
Another short guy.
Wow, this is like they're literally complete opposites. The team.
You know what? And just to shut De'Aaron Fox down, I'm going to pick up my guy, Drew Holiday.
Very good pick. Okay, and Curly?
Mac,
Give me Dame time. Give me Dame time.
Dame time. That's actually a pretty good pick at this point, too, right?
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to last that long.
Yeah, that's a good pick, buddy.
What were you going to say?
I'll give you that one.
You were going to say something?
I was going to say, but I forgot, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm slow. Oh, you know what? Come on. You know who my starting point guy is going to be? Zion Williamson. That's for me.
Oh, he's injured too.
Zion, I was going to take you, buddy. I always wanted that guy on my team.
Yeah, no worries. I could run down. There's only 5 players left.
Okay, who's left?
So we have Bam. You have Jaylen Brown, but I don't know if he's gonna play. So you can say Jaylen Brown or Brunson. I think they're gonna put Brunson in if Jaylen Brown doesn't go in. So you have Bam, Jaylen Brown, DeRozan, Halliburton, and Sabonis.
Brunson should have been an all-star. I don't care what anybody
From
thinks.
the get-go.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, that's another conversation about Brunson and Freddie, but let's talk about DeMar DeRozan because you know what? Another heartstringer. I'm going softy on this one, boys.
Wow, DeRozan. Very good pick. And every pick is gonna be a good pick. It's all stars.
Yeah.
Give me baby Sabonis. Give me baby Sabonis.
Nice.
And he will be a baby when MB crushes him.
That's if he's not sucking the oxygen tank on the sidelines.
For all the running. Okay, we got 3 more picks left.
Tyrese is not being taken, is he?
Sorry?
Tyrese?
Kyrie's on Team Curly.
No, Tyrese.
Oh, Tyrese? Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, he hasn't been.
Yeah, no, he's perfect for me.
Oh, wow.
Let's take him. Let's go.
Halliburton to Team Nigel. Okay, girls, this is the last pick because whoever is left goes to Team Nigel.
Give me Bam.
Bam Adebayo. So I'm gonna leave these teams on the screen for the comment section, and they can vote on who has the better team, who do you think did a better job of drafting. How do you guys feel about your teams? I could run them down real quick. Curly has LeBron, Tatum, Kyrie, Donovan Mitchell, Ja Morant, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jaren Jackson Jr., Paul George, De'Aaron Fox, Damian Lillard, Sabonis, and Bam. Nigel has the Monstars. And no, I like his team. He has Giannis, Jokic, Doncic, Markkanen, Embiid, Siakam, Anthony Edwards, Julius Randle, Drew Holiday, DeMar DeRozan, and Tyrese Halliburton.
And just remember, I only picked the guy from New York, because just to piss Curly off, I wouldn't have gone with him normally, but it will be even better. So, the Monstars versus Team Fried Chicken. We know who's going to win, boys. Bring it out.
How confident are you on in your team, Curly? What's your strategy?
My strategy is to run those big mothers out the gym. That is my team is so perimeter oriented. Once he selected Giannis and Jokic, I knew what direction he was going to go in. So I really blew up my strategy because Jokic was going to be my second pick. So I said, okay, you know what? You want to go with Team Slow-Mo over there? We're going to go with Team Quicks. Good luck guarding all these guys on the perimeter.
Yeah, my strategy is to call a timeout every 5 minutes.
Just flagrant fouls for breaks. Yeah. Wow. So I think we're at the end of the episode here. Is there anything that you guys want to tell the listeners, or anything that you have coming up? And I'll start with Nigel.
So I got a couple of articles coming out next week. One of them is going to be about Bruno Caboclo, how Masai turned a lemon into lemonade. I got a couple I'm working on as well. I'm doing an article I would like to finish by next week on our guy Scotty, and also on the evolution of the big man. It's another one in the works. Wow. And finally, Zaha and I are talking about doing a podcast called The Curry Boys sometime next week.
I would love to see that.
I love that.
So that's what I've got going on at this point.
Wow, the Curry Boys. That's a really good idea.
That's awesome.
I could just picture it like in like a restaurant where you guys are eating like curry and talking basketball.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Listen,
if you see that house though, I'll get some takeout.
Listen, if you guys aren't eating curry as you guys are talking basketball, like it defeats the whole purpose, man. You gotta have
some curry.
Curly, do you have anything coming up?
Well, first and foremost, not to outshine Nigel in any capacity, but hats off to you. Thank you for having us on here.
My apologies. Well done, sir.
No worries.
I love that you continue to grind, and I know we've talked about how busy you are outside of the podcasting world, and for you to still have the time to put out great content, and that's the part. If you're gonna take time away, you're gonna come back hard. This is the way to do it. So I love your approach, brother. So hats off to you, and thank you once again for having us. As for me, you know what it is already. At live by the period number 3 on Instagram, at live by the 03 on Twitter.
100.
Yep.
100
yes, episode 100. So thank you to all who have supported. If you have not jumped on the wave, please do. The road to 200 begins. I'm gonna have an episode summarizing the All-Star weekend, and the reaction pod will be available after a victory over the New Orleans Pelicans on Thursday night.
Ooh, I like it.
Be on the lookout for that.
Nice. Thank you guys for joining me. You guys are some of my favorite
thank you very much. Sorry,
personalities.
Max. I really appreciate it. You do a great show, and I love listening to you there every week, right?
Oh, thank you so much. Like, this was one of my more favorite episodes. I'm not just saying because you guys are here, but we were able to...
It's okay. You can talk your trash off camera, brother. You can talk your trash off camera. It's okay.
But for real, like, you guys there's really thoughtful answers here. We provided stats, analytics. We had jokes. We debated. It wasn't like a yes to each other. Like, we actually had constructive conversation. I think people can learn from that you can have different views, but also have great content at the same time and respect for one another. And I loved how we approached it this episode.
Absolutely. And I think that, we're all here because of the love of the game and a love for this team. And I think it's important that, we acknowledge other people's opinions. It's okay to have an opinion, it's okay to have a different view, because that's what makes us unique. And being the melting pot known as Toronto, where we have all walks of life, different backgrounds and all that stuff, that's what makes it so great. So to have great conversation and to appreciate someone's point of view, because how boring would this world be if we all saw the one thing the same way? It would be very boring, and there'd be no point of great content that you're putting out, Max. So keep doing it, brother. We need it, and we appreciate you for it.
He has a disturbance. It's all right. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in, and please remember to like, subscribe, and raise the vibe. Peace.
Thank you so much, guys. Loved it.